everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'll be doing episode 1 on how to make a CPS test using Scratch. A CPS test could be considered just like a clicker game. CPS stands for clicks per second, and what this project does is that it calculates the number of clicks taken per second by the user. So let's start off by clicking on this green flag right over here, and you'll be asked to choose your gameplay mode. You could either choose 5 seconds or 10 seconds. As soon as you click on either of these buttons, you'll see a center green button and you have to start clicking on it, and the number of clicks will change by 1 and so will the color. So let's go ahead and click on 5 seconds. And now we have to click on this green button. There's also a timer. The color changes by 5 and the timer will be set depending on the gameplay mode you choose. For example, if I choose 5, the timer will be set to 5. If I choose 10, the timer will be set to 10. You could even add an option for the gameplay mode like 60 seconds. It's your choice. And right in the bottom, you could see the CPS you've scored. So right now I scored 5.2, and you can also see the highest CPS you've scored, which in my case is 5.7. So you may ask, how is the CPS calculated? So how it is calculated is by simply dividing the number of clicks by the number of seconds. So 26 divided by 5 is 5.2. So let's once again click on the green flag, and I'm going to choose 10 seconds this time. Let's start clicking on the button. The timer, as you can see, was set to 10. Okay, so right now my CPS is 5.7, and 57 divided by 10 is 5.7. And my highest CPS is indeed 5.7, which I scored before, and yes, right now also I scored 5.7. So let's get started making this project. Let's click on New. And like always, we have to name this project the CPS test. And now we're going to delete the cat sprite because we really don't need this. Sorry. And now we have to choose this button 1. And I'm going to name this to clicker button. You could choose whatever button you want. You could even choose button 3 or button 2. I'm going to choose button 1. But now we have to choose button 2 again. So name this one to 5 sec. Duplicate that and change it to 10 sec. Now we have to hover on choose a sprite and click on paint. And use the text tool to type choose your gameplay mode. And now we could increase the size, align it to the center, and change the color to black. I'm going to change the font to marker. That on top. And I'm going to name this sprite gameplay mode. And now we're going to hover on choose a sprite again and click on paint, but don't paint anything on the costume. Just name the sprite to timer. So this is going to be like a blank sprite, but it's actually going to be the timer. Now let's go to the backdrops, click on backdrops, and just fill in the color with whatever you want. I'm going to use the square tool and choose the color cyan. Maybe make it a lot more brighter. Okay, so now let's go ahead and create some variables. So the first variable is going to be CPS. So make sure all of the variables that you'll be creating are going to be for all sprites. Now we have to make one called high CPS. Make this one a cloud variable. A cloud variable is a variable that will be stored on the server, and that is exactly what we want. So click on cloud variable checkbox. Okay. Another variable called clicks. Another one called gameplay mode. And last but not least, the timer. I'm going to hide them all right now. And now go to the 5-second button, click on costumes, and use the text tool to type in 5 seconds. not 5 seconds. And now align this to the center of the button and not the center of the whole costume, the center of the button. I'm going to change the full color to white. Copy this, paste it in button 2B, go to, oh wait, did I just copy the whole button? Okay, I'm just going to copy the text and now paste it in button 2B. Go to the 10-second button, paste it, change 5 to 10, align it in the center of the button, copy that, and paste it in button 2B. Okay, great, we're good to go now. Let's go to the backdrops and begin coding. So when the flag is clicked, we will set the clicks to 0, and we're going to show the variable CPS and show the variable high CPS. We want to hide the variable clicks, and we want to hide the variable timer, and we want to hide the variable gameplay mode. Now go to the clicker and begin coding that. So when the flag is clicked, we want it to go to the center and go to X and Y. So the center is basically 0, 0. And we are going to hide the spread. Drag in a forever loop. So whatever you put in this loop will execute until the stop button is clicked. So now if the user is clicking on that button, or if the button is hovering, or if it's touching the mouse pointer, then we want to change the number of clicks by 1. We don't want an or, we want an and. So drag an and operator. So if both of these conditions are true, then we want to execute whatever is in the loop. So an if then condition is if this condition is true, then we want to execute whatever is in the loop. So if touching mouse pointer and mouse down, so both of these conditions need to be true. On the other hand, or is either of these conditions need to be true. And drag in a change clicks by 1. Oh wait, change clicks by 1. And drag in a wait until from the control. So we want to wait until it's not mouse down. So since we don't have a mouse up option, you have to drag in a not mouse down. And we want to change the color effect by 5. Drag in another if then condition. So if timer is equal to 0, so if the timer is equal to 0 when the time is over, then we want to start calculating the CPS. So broadcast a message called calculate CPS. Now we want to set a value to the high CPS variable. As you can see, it's still 0. So drag in another if then condition. And right now we're going to pretend that it's not CPS, but it's score. So if the score is greater than the high score, then we want to set the high score to score. So let's put that in code language. So if the CPS is greater than the high CPS, indeed it will be, because the high CPS will be set to 0 at the start. So if CPS is greater than high CPS, then we want to set high CPS to CPS. There. And it's not necessary that the high CPS will be set to 0 at the start. As soon as a new player joins, like in a new complete desktop, then only will it be set to 0. Okay, so now what we want to do is go to the 5 seconds and drag in a when flag clicked, zoom in. We want to go to X and Y. So I'm going to change Y to -7 and X to -100, and -100 is good, probably. Yeah, that's great. And now we're going to drag in a show and switch costume to, actually I'm going to change it like 109 because it's, yeah, we want it to go towards the left a bit more. So -109 is good. So now we want to switch the costume to button 2B and drag in a forever loop. So, and drag it inside the for loop in if else. So what this does is, if the condition in here is true, then whatever you put in the first loop will execute. Else if it's not true, then we want to put whatever's in the else loop. So what we're trying to do is, if the mouse is hovering over the bun, then we want to switch the costume to bun to B. I'll switch the costume to bun to A. Dragging that bun to B. So if touching mouse pointer, switch costume to bun to A. Button to B, I'll switch the costume to bun to A. Okay, so now it's working. So now we just have to put it in the second button. And this time we have to just change the X position. I think positive 109 is great. Okay, great. Good to go. And now we can just simply put our CPS variables correctly. And great. So that's it for episode 1. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, click on that subscribe button and leave this video a big thumbs up. And don't forget to share this video to others. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, scratch on. Bye.